Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Benjamin Shipper and I am a cartoonist. And on this channel I showcase and review comics, art books, and well-designed books that I love and appreciate, keep in my library for my own reference, for my own work. And today we're going to look at The Art of Cory Loftis, his two sketchbooks. I'm going to primarily look at this latest one, which was done in 2015, but I think really transcends a lot of general sketchbooking that I see from animation artists. Cory is or has been one of the leading visual voices at Disney in this past era. I believe he's at Netflix right now, but really beautiful, evocative kind of memories that he draws in this one called Before I Forget. But before I forget, let me showcase my graphic novel that's publishing next year, March 21st, 2023, from Dark Horse Comics. It is called Joe Death and the Graven Image, and it is a connection of all things I love about cartooning and classic kind of animation, and also epic fantasy. I really worked a lot and devoted a lot of my time to creating some, not necessarily a new genre, but a new world in which genres do mix and mingle, and we come out with something that is tastes at least new, or tastes at least fresh, and new characters, new world, a new cosmology to invest in as an audience and a reader of both comic books and also literature. So this is the front cover, and this is the back cover. I probably did look at actually Cory Loftis when I was developing some of these characters. So I feel like this is an appropriate mix here. But please pre-order this. This is up for pre-order anywhere books are sold, and tell a friend. And if you do want to buy something from me right now, support the channel and my work, you can do so on my website, benjaminshipper.com. I'm selling this zine about tractors. My son was really into tractors, still is, he's 2 years old. And I just really found a lot of beauty in tractors that from an old generation. And so I just started drawing them and adding a little bit of cartoon flair. I really like this book, hope to do more of them, little zines like this. And these are going steadily, not fast, they're not flying off the shelf, but they are sort of being bought steadily. And I only printed 36 of them. So if you do want one, go to my web store, purchase one, and I'll send it to you the following workday. Thank you. All right, Cory Loftis. This was his, I don't know exactly if this was his first publication of his work, but it was an early one, and I love that he went sort of full kind of portfolio on us. Really did a good size book, and great kind of cover spread. And this is classic kind of classic pinupping, and like, you know, not much reference to himself as a person, other than all the things that he loves. This was published in 2013, and really delicate stuff in here. Potentially I will go over all this later in another one, but I think this is a wonderful book, and it has extreme imagination and interest in the style, the various styles that he draws, and subject matter. Really wonderful all the way through, but don't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily transcend that type of thing. So for me, this is great, but I'm more interested in talking about this more personal work called Before I Forget. And so, you know, I just like getting a little closer to the artist and to the author of things, and there's a little bit more humanity in this one. If I can kind of wax eloquent about that. Another beautiful naturalistic cover spread, and man, I just love how he's able with a two-dimensional medium to provide us with the feeling of an animated landscape, paintings, naturalistic painting, and then a very clear outlined and sort of cell-shaded figures of him and his dog, or a character and his dog. Nice clean opener. No need to get fancy. And a little intro. And we get small town life. So turns out Cory is a small towner before he moved to either LA or Burbank or wherever. He's working at Disney now, and we get a little bit of this characteristic small town moment. I've driven through and I've visited grandparents and been to these places all my life, and it's reflected well here in this one lane downtown, and a sort of a dying cultural collection of historians here. Really funny cartoon, just this this cutthroat sort of. He actually, let me reference this. He actually has notes back here in the back about each scene, about each page, and sometimes I'll reference. I doubt I'll go back to them all the time. But this one's called Arrowhead Room, a small room where I had my first dose of office politics, brutally cutthroat. Really nice, like kind of Parks and Rec feel to this situation. And again, these all throughout, his characters are just going to be very lifelike, very you know these people. It's like you really know these people. And these situations, and a lot of this image here of a shabby studio with animal heads trying to learn ballet from this woman who may have been quite something in her time. This just the essence of small town is all throughout this, and it's very poignant for me. Is like there might have been people trying to do excellent things, but there was just not a whole cultural ability or framework for you as a young person to learn or to grow in that way. You get a shabby studio with animal heads and an older teacher who has seen better days as far as what she or he is teaching. And it sounds like he was very much involved in farm life, and really knows what people wear, what people stand like and look like in these situations, in these towns, and not to just discredit any of his career. That I do find this really valuable, that because I assume a lot of you watching this or watching things are removed from a high degree of social interaction and progress in city centers like LA or New York, and you might be grasping for like how to get better. And it's just really nice to see that Cory comes from these places in which I think young people think are dying, and they maybe actually are dying. And you can progress into really excellent work. And your memories and your affection for those places aren't a deficit. They're a credit to your ability to bring life into your later work for Disney or wherever. You know, being able to draw old men around a Waffle House or something. It's like it's realism through a cartoon filter, and that's really stuff I just love. Being able to draw fish, catfish, and terrapins. You know, the silent quietude of of getting away and fishing. I didn't fish, but I did like to be around rivers and little creeks, because there was some dream space about thinking about where they went and how you could get to all the shining places, all the excitement, or the you know, the adventure. Where was it? And potentially the river could take you there. Oh, it's just great comedy moments of having to sit in the back of a pickup truck with prickly cacti. Great like family moments. This classic kind of Breakfast Club idea or ensemble. Very much relatable characters in the teachers and the students, and just being so hot that you're just lying in front of your window unit, and just getting trying to beat the heat. I remember those days, and in these types of homes too. Really, you know, shoddily built, paper thin walls, wood paneling on the, you know, not real wood, but kind of like a vinyl paneling inside. All classic stuff. And the light that he uses, really delicate, but wonderfully executed in Photoshop. Looks like same home, horror movie going on. This guy at least has a theme, probably like a Western theme that he's into. I love his Frenchie. Also, yeah, classic kind of rural or southern, or don't exactly know what area of the country he's in, but this type of ideas of, yeah, it's you know, it's not really wrong to eat fried chicken for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you know, God bless me, I love fried chicken, but I do think that there is some health factors being missed with that type of diet. And get a nice little hat ensemble here, and a memory of a prom, I believe, a high school kind of dance that he may or may not have been at himself. But again, I know all of these girls. I know all of these girls. I know them. Like, it's crazy how everything about them is right. If you're thinking back on your high school period, and thinking about how we held ourselves and what we look like as teenagers and growing adolescents. Super beautiful double page spread of quiet moment with dad or an uncle or grandfather fishing. And I didn't have this that much with my grandfather, but my brother did. And really nice, like, simplistic landscape, but with texture as the rendering. Watercolor textures, and just the level of stick-with-itness, patience, and perseverance to draw just little scratch marks all throughout, under the trees and leading up into the grass. It's probably like he probably doesn't love doing that, but the full effect is worthwhile, and he did it. Yeah, if you're a bored kid in not a city setting, or even if you are, this is the stuff kids do. It's like got a giant trampoline and a ladder. Why not try to get a dunk? And nice memories of I was on a JV team and quit pretty after a year or two. Didn't love it, but this is very much the memory of that high school period, comparing shoes or just being dorky. Lunch ladies, love them. It's kind of like, this again is a type of grandeur of a pool table in a potentially a double wide trailer, probably a single wide trailer home. Just like I would see this, and I do whenever I'm in those places, this type of dissonance. It's like, who stops the person that can't afford an actual home from getting a pool table, like a big old pool table, and putting it in their living room without any room for anything else. It's just how people that don't have any sort of grasp on aesthetics or I don't know. This is an interesting anthropological study, but I was just sort of scratching my head a lot of times. Well, thinking back on it, I didn't at the time, and there's such an interesting view of this here in this panel. Apparently, he was a good fisher. If this is him, really got a lot of fish. Amazing comedy here. Before fire ants, after fire ants. Yeah, those little buggers destroy everything, and great little comic. Fireflies, catching fireflies. Super nice moment. I wish some of these night scenes, that this one and a few others, are pretty dark, but of course you kind of get that feeling of being there in the dark, and you can't really make out shapes, and you're just surrounded by fireflies. So really nice. Went through a dinosaur phase like all boys, I think, right around the same time. Girls go through horse stages. Is the dinosaur phase is upon the male members of the household, and great like stuffed bear curio. Of course, this is just like most places in the world, inappropriate to have a stuffed and killed bear. Not at all cool in a progressive culture, or certainly one that's like trying to resuscitate extinct animals. But it's a mark of the past. It's a signature of small towns and just stuff being around for decades and decades, long time. Get that cover image again in this spread, really nice. Yep, the two screen theater with either reruns or just no one there, no lines. This is the theater that I went to. It's just so iconic. Great costuming, like a Halloween kind of idea, and a fun way to do like a continuous spread. Little animals on a porch, little cats, and a motherly dog, grasshoppers. I think you probably looked at these quite closely as a kid. There's huge bugs, and really great like attention to detail in the leaves and grass. Also nice attention to detail in these fine ladies here. Western wear, I think, was not unkind to that culture in that time. More sort of Breakfast Club, high school looks, playing with mercury, and like just this is everything in a high school type of setting. Like just you got the girl that just loves this guy, you know, the jaded goth girl, the jock, just tons of interest in this, and everyone's face is just incredible. More night stuff. Afraid of the dark and what's out there, and I certainly was as a kid. Nice monstery kind of psychological stuff that you think about when you're a kid, and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go out there in the dark. Really nice naturalistic stuff without throwing away design. Like his shape is just like, there's a lot of he just follows the line. He'll follow the line through down to the boot, but he'll give us wrinkles in the clothes, and just he chooses it really well, chooses where he's going to make the naturalistic sort of signatures of real clothes, but also keeping the form of a cartoon within the bounds of those clear lines, and then more scratchier textures and shapes to develop the landscape with a brilliant like texture paint underneath. Super good painter. Really nice little icons of the animals' heads. He's going into his kind of a more, not necessarily Mary Blair, but mid-century modern style here. It's a dream about a donut pushing uphill. In this one, he talks about how grasshoppers only jump forwards in front of you. They don't jump they don't jump out of your path. They always jump forward, so you can just keep walking and having them jump. And it's a really nice little detail. It's a very nice authorial kind of view. It's like something that I noticed, but I had never thought of really until he brings it up in here and shares it with the audience. I haven't watched. I think this movie is from Shane. I haven't watched this movie, but this is just hilarious. Like that he remembers so strongly as this like core memory. This scene from this movie in which this really silly looking kid is saying Shane. I think he raised. Let's see. I'm not gonna be able to find this one, but let's see. Steers. He said he used to show cattle, mostly. Oh no, I don't know how to pronounce that. But he it's like he raised and was showing his own livestock. So whether his family had a farm, just like incredible to know that, you know, like artists, I think the ones that are brilliant both in their subject matter and their execution. You look back in their past, and they really had a different lifestyle than the ones who are just sort of riffing on all of the top stuff, on all of what everyone else is. There's a homogeny that I think places like New York and LA and these hotspots, it's like you can develop technically, but if you don't necessarily have a memory or an affection or an experience of life outside those places, it can get really stagnant, I think. Are you gonna know, what a camp trip as a young person was with this guy, with his tractor zines. He's got Farmo and tractor zines, just like me, and just random like knife play. I would be in weird set camping situations with people like this, and I was also a weirdo. So really nice to see that kind of throwback or memory from someone else. Great landscape. Again, like not sacrificing design, just giving us just this like tea, and seeing the shadows on the ground from these huge, probably Midwestern clouds. His dad trying to fix something, water line, or the sewage, I guess, and home ownership. Interior of car. This like, I think his grandfather's truck. Really awesome. Like, just great. Like, smokes on the counter, potato chips, just the paraphernalia of just an old man's truck. Soda pop in hand. I've been in trucks like this, and it's really nice, like, to have this like flooded light outside. He didn't feel the need to do the whole draw what was outside of the window, because what we want is to feel this moment of quiet inside a old guy's truck. Star Wars fan, of course, like everyone, I'm sure, in that day. And some random TV and probably National Geographic stuff that he was into as a kid. This TV setup, it's an old furniture TV, and having these like tchotchkes and the toothpicks and caramels and peppermints on top, and trying to draw from magazines. Like, I would do this as a kid as well, and I've begun to do it again. But just this is the activity that kids who aren't that into sports or community events in these small places, this is what we do. And coaches definitely had a coach or two that was like this. Big hairy chest, and Ultraman, and this dissonance of like pictures on a wall, like it's at my parents' house right now, like, and there's this like a lot of people, that probably the majority of people in a modern context don't know how to curate. There's no curation. It's purely like, I like this, I like this, I like I like polar bears, I like that picture, I like Victorian women. I don't see necessarily a cognitive dissonance by putting them on my wall above my library lamp, and just this kind of stuff. Even as a kid, it boggled my mind that there was so much variety, and it was all not curated. Anyway, longer story. But great stuff. Western wear store. Some fish again. Quiet moment with Granddad. Cat on a step. Not much to say. Both wearing hats. Different kinds of pigs. This is really nice. Like, who else would know this? Like, I don't know this. I don't know the different breeds of pigs and the variety that is there, and the detail in which people devote their lives to learning this kind of stuff. And I mean, there's that preservation. Like, farmers, obviously, they are raising their animals for slaughter, but the good farms do get to preserve the species. You know, where else would they be? And they do preserve that species and allow the pig to have a piggy life. So interesting to see this here in his background. And the weird moments, just like dead possums. It's a mystery of the dead possum in a soggy field. I think was it the okay. Possums didn't happen to me, but my mom and sister had to go into a neighbor's pasture to catch a pony with a severed artery. The pasture was full of bloated dead possums. No explanation. Yeah. I don't need one. Creepy. And this is the last one, really funny. Minnesota. My grandma's sister in Minnesota was a painter. She sent me oil paintings of wild mustangs fighting. Love it. Brilliant. Brilliant book. Get your hand on this and this one if you can. I do think if I haven't seen a reprint of these, and they might be cost prohibitive right now, but really enjoyed looking at these. Thanks for sticking around. Before I go, just reiterate, pre-order Joe Death and the Graven Image wherever books are sold, and enjoy the ride next year, March 21st, 2023. Thanks a lot. See you next time.